Come one, come all. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. From two droning, who likes to drone on about stuff. Hopefully, we'll give you lots of bits to go on about. But yes, this week we'll be going over a few things. But first, let's Keith. Let's ask how you're doing. How you doing, Keith?
I'm doing fine, mate. How are you?
I'm fine. I just realised I didn't copy and paste some bits into my notes, so I'm going to have trouble reading them when I put the screen up. But apart from that, everything's hunky-dory. It's one of those things. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I was trying to play Doom Eternal, and because I've been playing more slower tactical games, that frenetic blow the shit out of everything isn't working the way I want. Also, I know that Babster's doing his LavaCon things, which is fantastic. I also watched England play, and they won, which is unusual for me to watch.
Quite well. They've won twice, in fairness. And in fact, they haven't conceded. They haven't conceded a starting goal. I mean, I know this is not a football cast, so Nigel's going to be kicking himself that we're talking about football. But I tuned in just as the first goal went in on the Germany game, and then literally 5 minutes later, another goal went in. I went, "Wow, that was a good 5 minutes of football." Should do that more often. Yesterday, tune in, it was already 3-0, so I was like, "Oh, fuck that, we're winning that one."
I watched the first half. I watched them score a goal. I watched Uruguay for the first 5 minutes, not knowing what they were doing. It was funny because they just hung right back towards the goal, and it's like, they're going to score. I'm sorry. And then England scored, and then I was like, okay. Got to the end of the half, and I went, I'll stop watching it for a bit. So I started watching something else, and then just quickly popped in, and it was 4-0, and I was like, well, job done. Let's go. Which was interesting. So, righty dokie, matey Blakey. Let's get on with some of the news. We've got some weird, controversial stuff to talk about. So let's start off with the movie.
Surely not.
Right. I always have trouble reading it from the website. But Black Panther 2 officially begins filming as Marvel boss admits it's emotional without Chadwick Boseman. So it goes through a lot of this stuff here. So he says, addressing the magnitude of his absence from the set, Marvel's boss, Kevin Feige, told for Variety at the Black Widow Global Fan event in Los Angeles, it's clearly very emotional without Chad. But everyone is also excited to bring back the world of Wakanda. Bring the world of Wakanda back to the public and back to the fans. We're going to be doing it in a way that would make Chad proud. It's a sad thing that we haven't got to sell Chadwick Boseman around. Kind of appreciated his bullshit-free attitude towards films and stuff. It did help, I think, when it came to these sort of things, and I think that's going to be missed. And then there's all the questions about Wakanda, because Wakanda in my head doesn't work. You have this unbreakable, unusable material, which you can't really, as like medieval people will say, couldn't really process until you got to the 20th century. Somehow, the Wakandans did. Something missing there.
There's so much of that in the comics and the Marvel universe. I mean, Black Panther was an okay movie. It was by far, I mean, when you look at the current crop of movies coming out of Marvel, it was a positively brilliant movie. I don't know how they're going to do a second one without him. How they're going to explain it, and please don't make the sister Shuri as the next Black Panther, because it's.
What I really wanted to see, but this is before Chadwick Boseman, I wanted to see Black Panther versus Doctor Doom, Latveria versus Wakanda, two overly technologically advanced societies fighting each other. That would have been awesome. That would have been fabulous to watch. And it could have been absolutely great, but unfortunately he passed away due to cancer and whatnot. I don't know how they're going to make it work. I really don't, without replacing him. I think they need to replace him. They did it with what's his mush from Iron Man. They can surely do it with Chadwick Boseman. I'm sure they can get an actor.
I don't know whether he dies and then somebody else takes over. You could have the guy that was his sort of like enemy, but sort of at the end kind of joins forces with him. He could take over potentially and sort of redeem himself, but I don't know what they're going to do. They've got to be careful.
Yeah, so that mate is a unit, so he's fucking huge. So it would be like Black Panther on roids when you drew a picture of him. Yeah, I did. The other thing I found really strange about Black Panther is that they were like kind of, we won't help our neighboring countries, but we will help this place in California. Our nations around us are starving, and we could use.
Well, I mean, he then does open up. At the end of the film, he talks about opening up Wakanda to the world, and they do to a certain extent, because there's the line in Infinity Wars where she goes, I thought we were opening Wakanda to the world. I thought we were going to have the Olympics or something, not this. And of course, then there's a big fuck off battle with Thanos and everything.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is actually Infinity War is actually, and I know I said it at the time, is a good movie. Endgame is not. But
yeah, Endgame just Loki's now proven that Endgame just didn't help them at all. They should have just set the rule for time travel as everyone else has the rules for time travel. You go back, change something in the past, it happens. Yeah, you've changed the events. We'll get to Loki later because it's not making any fucking sense. Is my biggest query, my biggest problem with the entire show. Yeah, I can imagine it's sad. I probably would like a replacement for Chadwick Boseman rather than it going to his sister. I think that's my thing.
Well, what's his face meant to be in it again? I've forgotten the actor's name. The guy that played the bad guy.
Well, Jordan B. Peterson.
Right. You know who I mean?
The Canadian psychiatrist. that would be a twist. Takes the mask off. It's like, my God, it's a balding white Canadian. What's going on there? I'd love to watch that, Jordan. No, it's Jordan something.
Hang on. Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, not Jordan B. Peterson. Michael B. Jordan, Jordan B. Peterson. Roughly the same.
Isn't he coming back? Do you reckon somehow they're going to do some kind of multiverse thing where he comes back?
No, they need to knock that crap off. Just replace the actor. Straight replace the actor and say sorry, guys, and get a good actor to play him.
I know that he's meant to be back in Black Panther 2.
How is he supposed to be? He had his heart cleaved in two and was bleeding out and dying.
He is apparently in Wakanda Forever. He is apparently in that. So he could be the new Black Panther somehow.
It could be in one of the spirit vision things. Where they go into the...
Yeah.
That's what he could be in.
Yeah, no, he could be there. You're right.
Unless he's playing some kind of weird lost soul sort of thing, which could be creepy and well done if they're clever about it.
Or it's the multiverse, which they very much seem to be going down.
We won't have proper time travel, but we will have multiverse. Oh God, Disney, what are you doing, guys? Come on. All right, let's move on to our next one. Let's have a
Hans Briggs. Oh no!
To take us to the next one.
This one.
This one started on Monday, and I was like, "What the what's going on here?" Disney dropped Slave One name on Lego.
Technically,
Boba Fett ship.
It was Lego that did it
on behalf of Disney. That's what they said. Said Disney doing it quietly. That's what we've been told. Right. I'd just like to point out the following. Boba Fett's a villain. He bad guy. He very bad guy. Having a name Slave One for bad guy ship makes sense. Same way Death Star and Star Destroyer. TIE Fighter. I think get rid of TIE Fighter because it sounds slightly racist because it sounds like TIE.
I seriously, I have to say this. if you happen to come across this YouTube video and the stream and you are watching this and you are offended by a fictional ship by a bad guy called Slave One, you are that offended that you will complain to Disney to make Disney change it, then please go and see a psychiatrist because you need help. I mean, my mind is blown on this one. It's so fucking ridiculous. I mean, this constant pandering to the Twitterati is making moderate people like me hate this and hate people that complain about this. This is what this is doing. It is destroying. This is going to end up sending us back, not forward. It's not going to progress the human race.
Keith, we're going backwards as it is. We used to be at a position where judging anyone by any immutable characteristic was bad, and we put in other bits alongside that, like kind of sexuality and whatnot, and we saw that as shameful, and wrong. But now, for some reason, it's the only thing that's important. So we kind of got rid of racism just to replace it with racism, maybe in a dress. It's stupid. Prisoners with Jobs one.
That's a nice one, Pippa. That's a nice one.
I was thinking about having Slave One sponsored by Nike. And just call it Sweatshop One. Just do it.
It's the hypocrisy of this. And what I mean, seriously, who the fuck is running Disney? I mean, seriously, you really, it's always been known as Slave One. It's not offensive. It's a bad guy. They're not going like Slave One. It's the best thing in the world. No, he's a bad guy. It's called Slave One. It's bad. We know that. Okay, Boba Fett's kind of a kick-ass bad guy, but it's not like we're going, oh, slavery's so good. We should go back to slavery again now. Honestly, fuck off with this shit.
I just find it completely ridiculous because Disney, you bought it, you knew about this from day one. I don't get it. Because Slave One's opposite is the Millennium Falcon. Yeah, it's like the X-wings opposites of the TIE fighters, the Star Destroyers opposites of the Mon Calamari ones. Yeah,
yep,
and it's a good one. It is literally like supposed to be the bad version of like the Millennium Falcon. So Millennium Falcon sounds cool. Sounds like a bird. Sounds like a bird 1000. Yeah, and then you've got the Slave One where it's not as 1,000. It's less than that, and it's
these appeasing minorities, and I'm not talking about racial minorities. I'm talking about the nutcases. I'm serious. There cannot be a majority of people out there that are offended by the name Slave One, or are thick enough to think that a kid going, "Oh, Slave One is a cool ship," then transpires to kids thinking slavery is cool. There is just no connection in it, right? There is no. I think Slave One is a cool ship. I think slavery is bad. I mean, come on. Most people are going to think that. Why the fuck do you need to rename it? It's like when somebody suggested 10 years ago that because I worked in a company that was majority Indian, right? And they were thinking about renaming the Christmas party to the winter solstice party. And the Indians guys went, fuck off, that's stupid. It's the same fucking mentality. It's white people feeling guilty. Stop it.
I don't even think it's white people feeling guilty. I think it's
it's white guilt.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's nothing to do with guilt. It's this the whole virtue signaling. It's the Twitter fix. It's those little kind of dabs of what do you call it? Endorphins that you get from a like or a retweet. I
do think that some of this virtue signaling is because I've come up against so many people that just have a severe case of white guilt, and I hate using that terminology, but it's true. I mean, you know, I never forget a time 2 years ago that I got into an argument with someone. I can't even remember what he was. I mean, we literally owned the world. It's about time they took over some. You know, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
We made it better. We left it in a better state than we found it. Sorry.
It's just
English
ridiculous.
common law's the first thing. I just it's annoying. Apparently, the one of the actors who did some work on the special editions of Star Wars, a guy called Mark Anthony Austin, tweeted that it'll always be Slave One, and Disney can say whatever they fucking well like. But yeah, because it's
no, they're not amongst the Star Wars fans. They're never going to. It's Slave One. It is called Slave One. That's the name of the ship. It has not been a problem until these fucking people suddenly got a voice. This minority of fucking morons that need psychological help. And if you are one of those, go get help. You need it.
How can I put it? This shit needs to end. I'm sorry. And you ain't gonna like the next story, Keith.
Oh, I know the next one.
You know the next story. And it's from our good friends at Polygon, because they've gone for a bloody walk. Which ones do we have? We'll have oh yes, this represents Disney.
I wonder if it's loaded.
Queer readings of Lord of the Rings are not accidents. Right, okay. Following the breadcrumbs ourselves in Tolkien's history by right. I'm having trouble. I find it easier to read it from the notes page than I do from the website, because I always usually wind up using fonts that my eyes don't like when looking at this screen. The long and the short of it is they want to make Lord of the Rings gay. Yeah, because I don't understand it. Right? This shit drives me wild. Now, I always had a joke. I'm not going to go into reading it because it's a shit article. I've already gone through it once and it made me angry. And if I read it again, it'll make me angry again. We always made a joke that at the end of Lord of the Rings, what's his mush, Gimli and Legolas went off and had a gay relationship together. It was a joke because it was funny. But they want to make Lord of the Rings gay. I know we want to make Lord of the Rings gays because they're coming up with a new series on Amazon. It's one of the last scalps that they haven't claimed. I think they got He-Man recently. Wait for that to come out, and let's watch Kevin Smith cry his fucking eyes out as he's been caught out lying. And I bet you any money that happens. Episode 3 it will reveal itself. The first one, everyone will be like, "Oh, amazing." Second one, "Oh, okay." Third one, so what the fuck, Taylor show? That's how it's going to go. But with Lord of the Rings, the new series is coming out. Jeff Bezos wanted Game of Thrones. Jeff Bezos has got enough money to buy Game of Thrones and remake it. And you know what? If he bought it and remade it, he would make quite a lot of people happy. I'm not joking. If he turned around and said, "Look, we'll remake it to the books," yeah? And then he can hire some people to, how can I put it, dangle George R.R. Martin off of a bridge saying, "You're going to finish the script off, aren't you? Sort of the script, the book off, aren't you?" And he's going to go, "Yeah, sure." Because he's got that kind of that wealth, even though maybe his wife might have half of that now. If he wanted Game of Thrones, he should have bought Game of Thrones. That's all I can say. But he wants to make Lord of the Rings Game of Thrones. So he's using the Silmarillion, which are the notes from the Lord of the Rings, not the stories. These are notes that were put together by his son so they could, be observed by people. So people could go, that's the backstory of so-and-so. There's like real characters.
Well, there's quite what they're writing on, is a peculiar part of the Silmarillion, but a lot of it was by Tolkien. There's a lot of footnotes and stuff. And both of the two hobbits did both have wives, and it is mentioned in the appendix, as did Sam, because Sam came back and plucked up the courage to marry the barmaid of the local pub after the sacking of the Shire. Yes, well, she did indeed, and what she does in the book actually is described as. Of course,
when you say barmaid, the first thing I think about is like she's got.
He married her. and that is in the film, although the sacking of the Shire isn't. And the kiss between Frodo and Sam is purely platonic, and it wasn't a passionate kiss. It was a kiss of friendship and love and respect. And yet there are a few, and again, it is only a few that it's gay. No, not everything in the world is gay.
I'll be honest with you, they didn't have time to be gay. I'm sorry, they were trying to save Middle Earth. They were so busy. There's a giant flaming eye, upon a tower, guiding armies of orcs and Nazguls and God knows what else to destroy the kingdom of man and elves and dwarfs, because that was like a super crisis time, the darkest time. You haven't got time to work out if you want to suck cock or not.
The thing about all of this at the moment is it's not natural, and I don't mean gay is not natural. I mean that everything has to have a lesbian in it. Everything has to have a gay character in it. Everything has to have a black gay lesbian in it. And there's no. When I say not natural, like the Sulu scene in Star Trek Beyond, natural, right? Everybody made this huge fucking song and dance about it. When we watched it, went, yeah, okay. He's got a daughter, and he happens to be married to a man, and that was what he was. There was no look, gay man here, gay man, isn't he amazing? There's none of that shit in it. I mean, but there's so many things now.
So that wasn't the biggest problem with that last film. The biggest problem with the last film was the entire last film. If do not fucking beat the bad guys with a rock song, please. It's just that feels so 80s, and the reason it disappeared in the 80s because it was crap. Okay, never again. Okay, there's certain things, certain storylines and devices that use never again. Yeah, they could have figured that they could have, recalibrated the phases, done something, reversed the polarity of the neutron flow, which doesn't make any sense, right?
I know the film is dumb, but what I was trying to do is use it as a reference because, again, I'm fed up of you just write Lord of the Rings. If two characters happen to be gay, okay, don't make a song or dance about it. Just treat it as normal. All of these people going, look, this should be normalized. We are so progressive. By making a song and dance about it, by shouting how amazing you are for doing it, you are not making it natural. You are not making it normal. Just put it in there. Don't say anything about it. Don't shine lights. Don't put big fucking neon arrows going, look at this, look at this. Just do it as if it was normal.
Okay.
That's how you do it.
Right. You know how 4chan claims to have weaponized autism?
Yes.
Yeah. That's 4chan's big claims. They weaponized autism. They caught the bike lock basher and they found Shia LaBeouf's flag and the greatest game of capture the flag ever. I think Twitter has weaponized autism, but on the other side. I think these are from people who don't understand how relationships work and probably have never been in proper relationships. That's the sad part about this. Is the reason that they want it is because they have friends, but they don't have relationships. Oh no, sorry, they don't even have friends. They have allies. Yeah, they don't have friends, they don't have allies, and they don't have relationships. And the only way that they can do any of this is to do it like this. And it's crap. That's it. It's crap. It shouldn't happen. There's no gayness in Lord of the Rings. There wasn't time for that. There wasn't even the Eowyn what's his mush relationship wasn't even supposed to be in there. Yeah,
it's
people were angry at that. Yeah,
because
I remember that.
Because it's overblown as to what it is in the book, and very much so. There is mention of it. There is mention of it in Return of the King because that's why the sword is recast, and it was because of Eowyn, and that's why it happens. But no, there wasn't the huge thing. But there is the Faramir relationship, which is only in the extended edition of Return of the King. That was very much more present. I mean, It's I suppose it's the song and dance they make about it that annoys me. If it was just there and it was natural, I wouldn't give a shit. It's the virtual signaling fakeness of it by so many people that probably don't really believe it. I mean, Hollywood is just so fucking fake. That fucking Leslie what's her face who's in the most woke of Disney writing a Star Wars movie that's going to be, fucking uber feminism. What was her last job? Oh, Harvey Weinstein's fucking assistant. Oh, she didn't have a clue what was going on.
And she wrote a play about it too, not having a clue about what was going on. So, yeah. I think it goes like this. Quentin Tarantino summed it up brilliantly recently on an interview with Bill Maher, where he turns around and said the ideology is more important than the art. And I think he's right. Anyway, TV time. Aliens TV series will tackle class warfare, says showrunner. You will see what happens when inequality we're struggling against isn't now resolved. Anyway, the long and short of it is right. The Alien franchise pretty much dealt with two topics. One, an unstoppable life form, and a faceless evil corporation. Yeah, Weyland Yutani were the evil faceless corporation.
It did pose some philosophical questions about, what it's meaning to be alive with the fucking androids and everything else in there and stuff. Certainly in Alien 2 to a certain point, but not. But basically, it was aliens killing fucking Marines and Marines trying to kill them back, and Sigourney Weaver being fucking hard. That was pretty much was Alien.
Yeah, well, we're not getting any Sigourney Weaver stuff in this. It's the premise, the idea of saying, hey, what would be good is if we saw the aliens actually get to Earth, and what would happen if they overrun the planet. I think that Noah Hawley has not interpreted the films quite right. I think he's got the wrong end of it. The android thing was only a thing in the first film, so you'd have a surprise, and then it was pushed into Prometheus and
it's in the second
Alien
one.
Covenant.
It's in Aliens as well, because on the third one.
No, it's only because of the experience from the first one. The Bishop android was quite sympathetic, and he was a good guy. So we've got that. He says he's got two scripts locked down at the moment. Not Ellen Ripley. It's so annoying because I want a decent alien show, and it should be a survival sort of series. And what they can do is they can do it from like initial invasion and then work their way through the population, shall we say. But it's not going to be that. It's going to be, how can I put it? It's going to be stupid. So it's going to be, right, let's get this right. We've got a millionaire director on behalf of $1 billion corporation telling us that we should be sharing our wealth. Fuck off. Just fuck off. Yeah. Seriously, you are a dumb piece of shit. Dumb. Entertain me, help me escape my work life, let me get away from everything. Yeah, and show me, scare me, make me go, Christ, I'm glad I live now. People are trying to compare it to the COVID pandemic, and I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake, I don't know what they were planning. I think it's I would just want to see what happens if aliens overrun a planet. They overrun a planet and wipe everything out. That's what I want to see. And maybe the rich people do better because they've got security and weapons and this, that, and the other. Yeah, and then maybe it's a case of they fight the rich to get the stronghold where they will be safe. And then you go from there to the aliens. That might be interesting. It was already done in The Land of the Dead by George A. Romero, which was good when the zombies figured out that they can use weapons. Which was like an oh shit moment.
It's
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said. We're on the same ticket on this. It's just getting a bit annoying. There is a distinct lack of entertaining shows these days, and with the couth and everything, it's even more so. And the crap that seems to be coming out on Netflix is woke as shit these days. With that's why Clarkson Farm was such a fucking breath of fresh air. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I did see Alien no longer about the survival horror, now it's about the horror of SJW. Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah. I've got a great idea for a short story that involves mobile phones. But I'll tell you about that after. I need to let it brew a bit in my head. So I need to get that right. One of the reasons I bought the new keyboard that makes lots of noise. Yeah, it's going to be crap. Well done, Noah Hawley. You've made it irrelevant. That's what you've done. Instead of doing the as I said, you could have done the Big Faces Corporation. You could have done the rich people have got this, and you take it from them kind of thing.
Not only can they even come up with original stories to tell their SJW crap, they have to repurpose old franchises and destroy them. It's just ridiculous.
It feels very communist. Sorry to put it that way. It feels very communist. It's the kind of thing that communists would do. They would sit there and break down the identity of a nation and then move in with socialism and then just overthrow them. I can't remember what the stages were that they call. There's 4 stages, and the last one's fear of normalization, that you'll be trapped in this kind of shitscape forever, and that's when they offer you communism. So yeah, just be aware of that. Right, let's move on to our next one, and it's not a happy one either. Let's have one of these.
Well.
Ollie Alexander's Doctor Who speculation exterminated by his manager just isn't true. Right. So, first Doctor Who news we've had for ages, and it's not Chris Chibnall leaving. Yeah. Can you just fuck off? And could the BBC just hand it over to someone else? Seriously, I'll give it to ITV. They would make money off the back end of that. ITV would, because they'd figure out what we'd want, because they're beholden to bloody people watching their TV. Ollie Alexander, who, oh my god,
yeah.
The worst thing is I can see the BBC casting him as the Doctor.
The BBC is going to have a reckoning.
Yeah, they're going to have a reckoning.
The couth has delayed all of this, but and people have been will watch anything because have been locked inside, and therefore anything to break the monotony, even if it's SJW crap. But now that these countries are slowly but surely reopening, the BBC is going to come a reckoning. I mean, the whole fucking thing with Princess Diana recently. There is a lot of unanswered questions there, and the BBC's head of drama constantly being very much ultra left wing. The fact that the BBC has been caught out dealing with Antifa, and this is a BBC news program. It's coming. It's coming. The reckoning will come.
Right, just to go off into the weeds with the BBC for a moment, right? What gets me is if you ever watch Question Time, yeah, it's like they go, oh, we have a fair and balanced panel. Goes, we got someone from the far left, the left, the centre left, and one person who describes themselves as conservative, and that's balanced according to them. That makes me laugh, because every time we watch it, it's like it's literally they all gang up on the one conservative or slightly right wing person. Actually, saying that, even old school leftist, they will gang up on. And there'll be just like one person on their own. And it's like, yeah, and they go, it's fair and balanced. And it's like, I can count. I'm sorry. No. I can count.
The fact that the BBC re-employed Bashir, knowing full fucking well what he had done, the heads need to roll. And no heads have rolled yet except him. And they let him resign. They let him resign a week early, which is atrocious. He should have been fired in full public view, but he wasn't. He took a fucking golden handshake because he took a golden handshake. He's got his pension out of public funds, right? So he's got his pension from the BBC fully intact. Wrong. And fuck the BBC. I've had this argument. I mean, I had this argument. My dad, oh, but I like what the BBC makes. You know, yeah, okay, some of the BBC dramas are good, but I'm sorry, fuck them. They need to die. They need to die. Those dramas will get made by productions, and they will still appear on TV. Trust me.
Yeah, because they're made
the BBC. The BBC makes very little drama itself now. It's made by other companies. Line of Duty, not made by the BBC. It's just commissioned by the BBC. There's a difference. The BBC needs to fuck off. I'm done with the BBC. I really am.
Me too. I think the only thing two things I watch on the BBC: Inside Number 9, and
good.
Inside Number. Did you watch the one, the Game of Thrones one? That was great. I watched that yesterday, and I'm like, that's fantastic. Where they're all unhappy with this guy for finishing off his TV series, and the guy's manipulated him into bringing it back and sorting it out. Mwah, that's great. It's like kind of someone's clearly upset with Game of Thrones because I think they've been in Game of Thrones as extras, along with Mark Gatiss, who's also been in Game of Thrones. So yeah. That was a good one, and then to some other ones in there they've done. They do Inside Number 9. It's annoying because Genius. they should be giving them big dramas to do. Write me a clever drama, an hour and a half, one big clever drama to watch.
Well, yes, I agree with you. I mean, Mark Gatiss did get Dracula, which I'm sorry, I know that you liked it towards the end, but I just couldn't get on with it. Although the guy that playing Dracula was great.
Klaus, whatever his wish, was a really good actor.
I don't until either the BBC dies or they fire their head of drama who's banging on about how wokeness is amazing and brilliant, and he is interjecting ideology, as you put it, into everything the BBC produces, and yet the BBC is meant to be impartial. It is not. And therefore, to me, the BBC doesn't meet its own charter. Its charter, number one on the list, impartiality. Bullshit.
Yeah. That's I think the thing is that I don't mind the idea of catering to all the demographics in the UK. That makes sense for the BBC. That's pretty much what it's supposed to do. Yeah, but I think ever since they cancelled like Radio Asia or something, it just went fucking weird. And I think this was roughly the same time they had the diversity inclusion policy, which whenever I hear that, it just makes me go, oh, fuck off. Yeah, I don't want to see things in on the lens of race and sexuality and all that crap.
But the thing is that this is going to kill them. It won't happen now, but it will happen. That more and more people are going to get wound up and start noticing this and refuse to pay their license fee. And the fact is that with the way things are going, Channel 4. Sorry for our American cousins here. The BBC is not the only one publicly funded. Channel 4 is partly publicly funded as is at the moment, but the Conservatives, in their fucking wisdom and their great thing of privatizing, are talking about doing that to Channel 4. The minute that happens, then the only thing that the TV license is going to be funding is the BBC. And people aren't going to go for that. I'm so glad I don't pay for TV license. Don't live in the UK. And I won't. I will not pay for a TV license. Fuck it. No.
You know what pisses me off is you need it to watch live TV. It's not if you watch the BBC, it's for live TV.
But it doesn't fund live TV.
No, it doesn't fund live TV, but if you want to watch live TV, if you want to watch live TV through an aerial, you have to pay for the BBC. So, and that also, I think, counts for cable TV too and Sky TV. But streaming is outside of that.
Yeah.
Which is good, but it's annoying because fucking Gary Lineker on Match of the Day could punch the cunt on my language. It's just, I wish Alan Hansen was there to put me in his place. Alan Hansen or Graham Souness or someone who's got a fucking backbone. Yes, I already put that one up there. Let me just read the comments for the people listening on the podcast. Bilford's written, I've heard the Daleks can't wait to get their suckers on Ollie Alexander. Let's just play a game. Let's play that Ollie Alexander does get to be the Doctor. Okay, fair enough. He gets to be the Doctor. I haven't seen him act. It could be good, could be bad.
I've seen him in one thing, and I know why he's been attached to it. And look, well, however he dresses and does whatever he wants to do outside of it, it's fine. He could play the Doctor. He'd be better than fucking Jodie Whittaker. Put it that way.
The long the short of it is the biggest problem that BBC have got with Doctor Who is still there under the name of Chris Chibnall, and Ollie Alexander just ruined his own career. So it would be good if he didn't play it to save himself. Maybe when he's gone and another writer pops across, then you can. But at the moment, Chris Chibnall's got him and his little band of useless fuckwits. He must be taking a massive salary off the back end of that. The amount of money he saved on staff writers.
That's
the bit that gets me.
The thing that makes me laugh is that everybody says it's badly written. Even the fucking SGWs are now sort of the woke people are saying, yeah, it's not well written, because it's not. I mean, you have an ideology which you're not even trying to hide. You've got Jodie Whittaker, who was massively miscast as the Doctor. You've written this. The Doctor was a young black child, and start seriously.
Right, hang on a second. I know the best way out of that, and it's to rip off a Rick and Morty script. Yeah, have you watched the Rick and Morty thing with the memory slugs that create false memories?
Yes, I do remember. That. Yeah,
the Timeless Child is a dimensional creature that's feasting on Time Lords, and it's creating false memories for both the Doctor and the Master while it gobbles up the inhabitants of Gallifrey. So it's not wrecked. There were no Cybermen. It was the Timeless Child, which is this horrible parasitic alien feeding off of the energy of all these Time Lords. And
but it would be a great way out of it, but they are going to double down on this shit in season 13 because this is what they do. The more people, because these writers have now come out and going, we love to piss these people off. They love to. It's not about entertainment anymore. I'm sorry, but Quentin Tarantino is right. It's about ideology. It has been about ideology since all of them collectively crashed when what's his face, fucking orange blimp, got fucking voted in. He's not the president anymore. Get over it.
Oh, that's what I find amusing is that I blame him. I'm sorry, there's a single old man in charge of the White House who doesn't know what's going on. I feel really sorry for him. I'll be honest with you. It's when they were said that Stan Lee was being suffered from elder abuse. It's the same thing here with Joe Biden. He is creepy, but he doesn't. He deserves to be sitting on a thingy because he doesn't know what was going on.
It's just I
watched a video of him walking into a store, and a woman asked him about something, and he went, "Hang on, I have to pull my notes out because this is what they've told me to say." But the president of the United States never does that. I would prefer Kamala Harris. I think she's shitting herself at the idea of being president. I think she really is. I think she came out coked up on one thing. And all of a sudden, we've turned into the Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro, the snarky 12-year-old.
Yeah, I think we should go back to reviewing Loki.
Yes, let's review Loki. Hang on. Loki. Right, okay. I'm going to say this before we start. The only way that this series can be saved is if this is a massive joke that Loki has played on himself and the rest of the universe. If it comes back and it turns around and he comes out and goes, bye-bye, it was me. I'm in charge of the TVA. I made the whole thing up like that. And he went, why? Because I'm Loki. And he'll go, yeah, you are. And he goes, well, I managed to fool you. So if I fooled you and I'm the greatest prankster in the universe, yeah, and that's what I want. That's really what I want. But the annoying thing is that they are forgetting everything about Loki. Loki's a frost giant, yeah? Frost giant who can take a beating from the Hulk, who can knock buildings down and hold up islands, yeah, with his just strength alone, okay? So he can do that, yeah? He can have an arrow explode into his face, yeah? And what happens is his hair gets a little messed up, all right? But somehow in the TVA, it's fucking useless. Pull the fucking other one, yeah? Seriously, pull the other one. I know what it is. It's because this unwritten rule that they've got that men can't hit women. That's what it is. It's annoying as hell because he should be as hard as nails, yeah? And he should. You don't have to change the story too much. Just make him so he can win a couple of fucking fights, for God's sake. Yeah, he has magic. Yeah, they were trapped on a planet. Yeah, he could have called the freaking Bifrost. All right.
Well, no,
what's going on there?
Well, it depends if the Bifrost still exists. Because at the moment,
the Bifrost still existed. It was 20. It fucking existed. All right. He could have called that. No. He could have done something. Yeah. He's got fucking magic. He could have cast a fucking force field, yeah? He could have turned himself into a Pegasus and flown away. All right? Loki, magic, lots of options. All right? Actually, he doesn't need the Bifrost to travel from world to world because he knows secret routes. Yeah? There's a thing in Norse mythology that is like referred to moving backstage, yeah? It was put in... American Gods references it too, yeah. And if you play God of War, it references it too, where they get this thing where they move backstage, which is like outside of reality, so they can move from one place to the other without being seen. Yeah, I'm sure that fucking exists somewhere. Yeah, I'm sure that he could have got a signal out somewhere. I'm sure that he could have done loads of things. They've forgotten that Loki's Loki and he's not a fucking ordinary dude. If this was ordinary dude, yeah. If this was what's his who's the guy who plays Ant-Man? Who's the Ant-Man's character? If this was Ant-Man's character, not Paul Rudd, the actual character, Scott Lang? No,
Scott Lang. Yeah, it's Scott Lang.
If it was Scott Lang in this situation, it would make more sense. Yeah, but it's Loki. He can take a punch from Thor. He can take Mjolnir in the face. He knows that it hurts, right? But he can do that. He can turn himself into a snake and stab his brother because he thinks it's funny. Yeah. And they had the thing with Lady Sif and the hair cutting off. Yeah. And that's one of my favorite stories because that's how Thor gets his hammer. And that was the other thing. Loki, all right. Loki apparently has got a boat that he can fold up and put in his pocket. Sounds a bit Time Lord-esque. But apparently in Norse mythology, he's got that. Yeah. I can't remember what the name of the boat is. What's going on here? Because this doesn't make any fucking sense. And then you've got story elements that don't make any sense. So Lady Loki drops a load of time bombs into the time stream to disrupt the time stream. Yeah. Time stream, absolutely fine. We go back. We see the time stream. It's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with the bloody thing. No divergent timelines, no parallel universes, no parallel realities, nothing. Yeah.
That could be that the TVA is a load of bullshit and is a joke, which by the fact that Loki at the end got supposedly pruned, but then ended up in wherever he is, means that maybe it is all a lie. So maybe the time bombing is also a lie. So it's one of two things. It's either Loki, as is the story, and it's old man Loki, although it's now looking less likely because everybody... Although casting Richard E. Grant as old man Loki, kind of genius. But I was hoping he would be the one that was pulling all the strings. It's now increasingly looking like it's going to be Kang. But
no, it's not going to be Kang.
They
haven't got the capacity for it to be Kang. Sorry.
Yeah.
To look at what's it, WandaVision, where we all thought it was Mephisto. It's not.
Yeah.
It's going to be Lady Loki, other Lady Loki pulling the strings, making this a big joke. I want it to be Loki. I do. I want it to get to the end, and I want just him to just pop out behind a curtain, and it goes, "The look on your face, wow!" And then just have loads of screens replaying the look on his face. Goes, do you know how long this has taken me to set up? Because this has been like 1,000 years in the making. And it's like, that would have been fantastic. That's what I want. It's not going to happen, though. That's the annoying thing. I keep trying to convince myself.
Well, it's got to be right. It's somebody behind it. So it's either going to be Loki, a Loki, or it's Kang. That's the two.
No. What's the shallowest, safest thing that they can do?
Loki.
I probably wouldn't have said Loki. I would have said the woman in charge of the TVA.
Well, she's obviously knows what's going on. But the fact is that the timekeepers have been revealed to be robots. So somebody's playing a prank. At the moment, it's looking like Loki. But then, Loki gets zapped and magically appears in wherever he is with all the Loki variants, including the crocodile Loki, which was quite cool from the comics. I mean, I know that this show's got lots of problems, but I kind of enjoyed episode 4. I like the ending. I thought seeing Richard E. Grant as Old Man Loki, I thought, yeah, okay, that's interesting. The fact is that they've got a Loki as a crocodile there, which is from the comics. That's a tantamount to doing Spider Pork.
That's what you call it. That's the production crew. That's not the writers. They're not. If you look at the pedigree of the writers, then
I know, but I don't know where they're. If it's Kang, it will be slightly cool. If it's a Loki that's pulling all the strings, I fucking fooled you at the end, and the incarnation of Loki we see now survives, a bit like how they brought Vision back, which was the only good thing to come out of WandaVision. That would also be interesting. I don't know. Owen Wilson is not dead. He's just not, because the fact Loki isn't dead means that Owen Wilson isn't dead, and they really have got to tie up that jet ski thing. I don't think Owen Wilson's character is dead. I
think he's been returned to his timeline, and everything is fine. Possibly. That's what I think those weapons do, because they describe them as reset bombs. So what happens when you reset something? It just returns to its point of origin, carries on like nothing happened. No memory of what went on.
I am looking forward to seeing what happens in the next 2 episodes, and I am looking forward to seeing Richard E. Grant, because I like Richard E. Grant, and Old Man Loki. That's kind of good casting.
Can you riddle me this? Yeah, a Loki that has been living, pretty much day after day in disaster zones, and she can only live like maybe a day, maybe 2. Where the fuck did she get her hair dyed? That's the biggest mystery for me.
Trust me, women always find a way.
Because she should have jet black hair like Loki. She should have jet black hair like Loki if it's going to be Lady Loki. But I'm hoping that I really want it to be the Loki, and I want it to be, the reason I want it to be Loki is that those things they had like the devil and stuff. I think it would be great because Loki's like kind of, I can play tricks on people anywhere. Wait a while, and from my perspective, 5 minutes have passed from there. It's a couple of 100 years, and I've made some shit up. Yeah. Like I invented religion.
So obviously, right, there's going to be something behind it. They've revealed that much, right? It's not going to be. It could be a bit of a disappointment, but they've revealed something. It's not going to be like WandaVision level fucking disappointment. It's just not.
It's going to be. It's going to be like. It's going to be the lady from Doctor Who. She's going to be the one in charge. They died off. She replaced them. That's it. You're not going to get. We're not going to get anything exciting outside that. That's all it is. And that's going to be crap, and you're going to be upset. So I'm getting ready for my disappointment.
Well, no, I think if this is another disappointing thing, people are going to, after 3 really quite, 2 not great things from Marvel, and even the normies have criticized Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I mean, they're not criticizing for what it truly deserves to be criticized for, because that would then be seen as going against the ideology. But I mean, both WandaVision was crap. Falcon and the Winter Soldier should never have existed in its.
I think the problem with the WandaVision series was the fact that we were hoping, and they looked like they were going to deliver more than they were going to. They overpromised and underdelivered. That's the biggest problem with WandaVision, because it could have, if they'd have delivered what they were pointing at, I think I would have been okay with that.
Seriously. Yes, no. If they'd done when they revealed what's her face, Agnes as the witch, that suddenly opened up Pandora's box as to what you could do with it, because that character in the comics was connected to so many different elements that we're yet to see. The Fantastic Four, the X-Men. There was all of these things that you could have brought in. Right now, the one thing that series did kind of hint at, right, is that Wanda had her powers prior to being zapped by the fucking Loki Pokey stick. That indicates that she is a mutant. Kind of. Whether they intended to do that is another matter, but there is a hint
Agnes is a mutant.
No, that Wanda is. because it hinted that Wanda had her powers when she was a kid.
Oh no, yeah, that's the problem. They hinted at it and then they didn't deliver.
Well, yes, but it is at least a hint that it dropped one. The one thing it said was that they could still go down the Wanda is a mutant route. And if they do that, fantastic. We get the X-Men in. Let's see what you can do with that. At the moment, the way Kevin Feige is going, he needs to be fired and get someone else in because he's gone woke. And that's just going to mean it's all going to go broke. And that's what probably will happen. But
the bright side, Sony kept Spider-Man.
I bet Sony yeah, I don't know if that's going to be any better, but hopefully let's see what they do with Morpheus.
Morbius.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to Venom 2. Kind of am looking forward to Spider-Man 3, but I know you're not, and I know why.
Because it's not Spider-Man. When you give me Spider-Man, I know what Spider-Man is. I've got stacks of comics under my bed at the moment.
Sits on my sofa. I am a Spider-Man fan, so I do know what you mean. But I don't know. If it's Kang, I will go. That was cool. But I did that cut scene because I thought, oh, if you've killed him off, because when they did that, I thought, oh no. And I was sitting there going, oh, you've just killed off Owen Wilson. And you've killed off fucking Tom Hiddleston. And it was the one thing I said, if you did, it's going to be a massive outcry. And I was just like, Sylvie can't carry this on her own, even if she is a Loki, which she might not be. We've seen her in what's his face, but it doesn't mean she is a Loki, or even that she is an ice, what's her face, a frost princess, or even an Asgardian. We don't know any of that yet, but that scene at the end, one slightly restored my faith because at least Tom Hiddleston is not dead. Because I think if they had done that, it would have been a massive outpour. But it also means that Owen Wilson is possibly not dead because I want more of Owen Wilson than Tom Hiddleston. When those two are on screen together, they have got awesome chemistry. They are really, really good. Mm-hmm. So I have enjoyed their scenes. I do.
Yeah, that's the one thing. That's the one thing I liked about it. But as I said, I could find a podcast with those two talking on. I'd probably be happy with that too.
But it is still the best of a bad bunch. It is still the best of the three so far.
How it sticks the landing, Keith. Because remember, WandaVision was okay up until a point, and then it
wasn't. I was critical of WandaVision until episode 4, and even then, it was still. I'm sorry, I got into WandaVision because of Agnes Harkness. I was thinking, oh, we're going to get something at the end of it. Sitting through all this shit means that we're going to get a payoff, and we didn't, and therefore the whole thing was shit. But anyway, we should move on to our other review, which is the Tomorrow's War.
Yes, hang on a second.
I need about 350.
350.
Right, okay. So, yeah, Tomorrow War.
Check your brain at the door.
I enjoyed it, and there's bits that woke me up. Just going, what the are you doing in this film? That's the bit that kind of got me.
Gareth, you will enjoy the film if you check your brain at the front door.
All right, so first thing that got on my wick was they've got these people, yeah, and they're saying, "Oh, we're going to conscript you to send you into the future because you're going to die before we get to the future." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, but they didn't tell them. Okay.
We might as well kill you now. So that was okay. I got that. That made sense. And then it was like, so what do these things look like? Well, we're not going to show you until you actually get there. How am I supposed to learn to fight the bloody things if you're not showing me what they look like? Next thing was the weapons that they gave them. Clearly they're armored, so armor-piercing rounds might do good. Maybe heat-tipped ammo might be good. Transformers, they figured that out. They got into fights with the robots, and then the humans figured that they used certain types of ammunition against them. It worked.
You haven't picked up on the biggest thing that was.
I haven't finished. This is just the beginning bit. Then there's a bit that gets into the building to recover all the stuff, which is fine. Yeah, and then the creature clearly is going to come from the top. Yeah, it's going to come from the top or the bottom. So instead of going right, you five look up, you five look down. Okay, all right. And then we saw it. Okay, everybody, when it pokes its head over the ledge, I want you to fill that thing fill everything full of hot lead. Yeah, because it can be armor plated to a degree, but after a while the arms could break. Yeah. So they got that. They got the F-22s bombing Miami. Sorry, F-22s are only good for bombing like tanks. If you want proper tank bombing,
I knew you were going to have an issue.
B-52, yeah, proper bombers. They're called bombers. The clues in the name.
But oh, come on. I mean, that's Hollywood.
So we've got that, right? Then, right? Then they meet up. He sees his daughter. They figure it out. I figured it out the moment I saw her. It's going to be his daughter, isn't it? Yeah. But they were good enough to let you do that. I like that. Thumbs up for that one. All right. The guy who took the claw shouldn't let any fucking soldiers take any trophies of any sorts. I'm sure it's against Geneva Convention or Human Rights Convention. One of the two. I bet if you look it up, you find that. So you got that. A big problem. Don't do that. Okay. If you had it hidden under him, maybe. Okay. Plays a big part at the end. You could have given him a knife. Right. So they then try to capture the alien queen. I'm going to call it the alien queen because it's just easier. So they're in the little sandy hole trying to capture this queen with men when they have fucking Humvees with cables on outside, which could do a better job. Between the cable bloody winch unit on it and the Humvee itself, it could have dragged that bitch out of the hole with ease. Okay.
It's got better talk, yeah.
All right. It could have done. They could have collected 3 up and got a Reezy. Instead of that, everyone's pulling. If that's the case, why not put 40 people down the bloody hole? Still didn't fucking make any sense. That drove me crazy.
I'm still waiting for the biggest problem I had with this. The one thing that I went, hang on, that makes even less than gone. I'm seeing if you pick up on it.
I'm still going through it. Okay, so they get the Queen Alien, yeah? They take her back to the base. The bit where they've got the fucking time machine that's saving all their asses. So they put her there. Instead of putting her somewhere, remote on a boat, yeah? Away from everything. So if the shit goes down, only the boat gets destroyed, yeah? Maybe they've got an escort, yeah? Maybe you've got some helicopters and crap, yeah? So they sit there and say, oh, she's emitting some kind of pheromone. No shit, Sherlock. She's broadcasting her location, you dumbasses. So the things figure out when they smell her and go, this way, okay? They figure out that a certain poison with a certain enzyme, yeah, right? Certain enzyme works, yeah? So, right, brilliant. We've got what we want. Why don't you kill the queen there and then? Yeah, you could have tied her up to the fucking grid and just gone, barbecue, yeah? Could have seen how many volts it takes to take one of these things out. No. Oh my God. Okay, so we've got that. Then we've got the... And then, right, that's just those bits, yeah. That's the bits in the future that bug me. Everything else is pretty much fine with. I got some other smaller bits.
The time travel. You're missing like the big thing, right? Right, hang on, right. We can't travel back. We can only travel between 2 points, right? This is what she said. We can only travel by 2 points, and those 2 points are moving forward, right? That makes no fucking sense. Because one, how did they go back? Because she said there had to be 2 gates, one at either end. Well, how did you build the gate back in the past? Right? And if you sent them back into the past, so they had to build a gate to travel back again, right? Why can't you send them back further? Why did you send them to that certain point in time? That made no fucking sense because the gate didn't exist.
No, right, okay. Right. There's the theory on how to create a wormhole. All right.
Yes, I know.
And it goes like this: you take 2 wormholes and you time dilate one by either sending it off somewhere at the speed of light.
Yes, that's clever shit, but that's not what she said. She said, right, and I quote that we can only connect between 2 gates, and that time is moving forward. Right? But hang on, how'd you get back in the first place? And if you could just send them back and then, okay, they had to build a gate to come back again in the future, that makes sense. But that doesn't stop you from sending somebody further back in the past, because you have to be able to send somebody back in the past to build the fucking gate to get back to the future again. That kind of makes sense, right? But that doesn't stop you sending somebody back further, because how the fuck did they get back into the past in the first place? Right? There's no fucking fixed gate there because they didn't have the technology in the past to build the gate to bring you back. So the point-to-point connection doesn't work. That theory is null and void.
That's the same gate in the future and the past.
But the gate didn't exist in the past. She didn't build the technology because she designed it because she's magic and knows everything because she's the greatest woman ever.
No, she didn't.
Right?
She was a biologist.
She said she designed the technology to send them back in the past. Go and watch again. She was.
Hang on a second. Are we talking about his daughter?
Yes. She came up with the time travel.
No, she didn't. It was a black lady talking about the time travel stuff.
No, but she said,
"You still owe me 2 T-shirts, scumbag."
She said
2 T-shirts.
I don't care.
Double or nothing.
All right.
Double or nothing.
Virtual handshake. Virtual handshake. Right. Fucking show the camera. Show the camera. Right. Thank you. Right. She said she designed the technology to send them back in the past. That's what she said in the film. And that's the point where I went, but hang on, it doesn't make any sense. Right. Because how do you get them? Come watch it again. Okay, but I actually did enjoy it because I checked my brain at the door. When I decided that, oh, this is a really dumb movie, I'm going to stop my brain from thinking and then just enjoy Chris Pratt and random black nerd guy who was very, very funny, and what's his face as the dad, who I'm glad came back in because I loved him everything he's in.
I like the nerd guy because he was just really honest. He just said, I hid. He just said, I hid. And it was like, there's a bit of level of like shame about it and this, that, and the other.
And then he cuts one in half with a handsaw.
Yes, he does.
Awesome.
The bit, hang on a second. That was the other bit that pissed me off. It was like, you get into the spaceship, right? I think, right, guys, what we're going to do is going to just put lots of explosives in this because if this goes wrong, we can just go, boom, problem solved. Okay? We'll kill ourselves along with the aliens. Okay? Last resort. We'll go through, make sure all of the alien queen things.
But isn't that what they kind of did? And the queen kind of escaped. They did fucking napalm
it. Straight to the poison. Then they went to the explosives because matey said he was going to die of cancer. He figured he was going to go out on his own terms. It was the end bit I loved the best when him and his dad are fighting the thing at the end. When whatever logic they'd forgotten during the film, all of a sudden came to fruition then. Because the first things first is the dad takes his coat off and puts on a fucking snowman. Don't know where he had time to make that. But she attacks the coat so he can take a sniper shot at the thing. And I'm like, bravo. That's how you fucking do it. Yeah. And you're like, go. And then they're fighting the thing. And he finally gets to jab it in the arm with poison. Yeah. And it's like, I've got you, bitch. And then the thing goes, gnaws its own arm off. And then you're like, shit.
Yeah, I like that.
Shit. Yeah, and then they were like, crap. So then it was like kind of they're both trying to take him on. Really enjoyable. That bit I enjoyed. I did.
I mean, I thought the whole sort of relationship with the father thing was, look, it's one of those films that you check your brain at the door. Actually, it's quite enjoyable. I mean, it's really dumb in places, and there's some really dumb things in it, but. So is Independence Day, and Independence Day is one of the greatest films of all fucking time.
Yeah.
And this is equal. Chris Pratt is great. If Chris Pratt wasn't in that film, it wouldn't have worked as well. He does carry the film. I mean, Yvonne, what's her face as a daughter? She's hot because she's,
Miranda from Mass Effect. I know.
I know her from Chuck. Because she played Chuck's the
gratuitous ass shots in Mass Effect, dude.
But there was gratuitous ass shots in Chuck, and she killed people with big guns and sweaty boobies. It was awesome.
She wasn't wearing skin tight white leather.
No, well, she did she was Chuck's girlfriend, and it was awesome. It was like, I loved the series Chuck. It was brilliant. But she was good in this. But again, check your brain at the door and you'll enjoy the film.
Yeah. There were. I did enjoy. Overall, I enjoyed it. I was just annoyed that it was especially annoying, especially at the end when they clearly thought through what was going on, and then they kind of forgot about it, and it was.
Yeah. At the end, they suddenly had tactics. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I'm telling you, we developed tactics. That's because J.K. Simmons is on the screen.
Yeah, he was great because he was all of a sudden like, no, we're gonna have a plan if we're doing this. And it's like, is it the fate of the world? Yeah, I don't think I'm staying back here if it's the end of the world.
What was who did they call him? Oh, Conspiracy Santa. I fucking love that Conspiracy Santa. I pissed myself with that line. I thought that was brilliant. Conspiracy Santa.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. I did enjoy it overall. It's just just wish they would have put a bit more thought into a few other bits, because they did do such a good job towards the end.
I think if you were being really critical of it, it didn't know what it was. 1 minute it was a very funny comedy, the next minute it was like a serious sci-fi, or trying to be a serious sci-fi. Right? If it had just gone for the straight comedy, it would have worked better. I mean, if I'm being uberly critical of it, but again, Chris Pratt being Chris Pratt, it's enjoyable. And therefore, is it the greatest movie ever? No. Do I know why it's on Amazon? Yes. But it has some brilliant moments. It made me smile and it entertained me, which is a thing that not many things do these days. So, you know, you've got to take that with a give it a gold star for that, because it was entertaining. It was entertaining.
Yeah, I'll give it that. Right. I've only got one. I've got the final story, but I don't know how good it is. So let's move on to.
You don't know how good it is.
Our WTF section. Here we go. So, I'm sharing the wrong screen. I don't normally do this. It's usually Keith.
What the fuck? Ollie Alexander is Doctor Who.
No. Woman uses hidden camera to catch world's worst housemate. Woman uses hidden camera to catch world's worst housemate stealing from them. Jordan from Texas claims that she caught her housemate red-handed stealing from her bedroom using a hidden camera after her sex toys went missing. Spicy. Okay, I'm not going to play the video. From arguments about taking the bins out to dispute over rent, having a housemate who you don't necessarily get along with can be an absolute nightmare. But however, while most of us have experienced difficult housemates at some point in our life, two women were left dumbfounded after they allegedly caught their housemate stealing intimate items from them. Jordan claims she caught her housemate Mary, who had whose name has changed. Has been changed. Rummaging around her belongings after installing a hidden camera to catch her in the act. The 26-year-old said she set up the camera after a big purple sex toy went missing, and later discovered it under Mary's pillow before other items went missing. Oh man. Yeah. It's. I find it. Yeah. It's not. I haven't got this video footage and this screen caps and stuff, but just to say, that's a weird thing for a housemate to do, to steal others.
A giant rampant rabbit, because let's face it, that's probably what it was.
Yeah, the one I love is I've probably said this before, the Itachi wand. Have you heard about that one? Itachi come up with this deep tissue massager in the 80s, and they gave it out to all these athletes. The men returned them after they finished in the test, but the women wouldn't. They were using them for other things. So there's like kind of yeah, it's like with what was it? The Viagra. Same thing with Viagra. Like they weren't returning the tablets. Why aren't you returning the tablets, gentlemen? Are you supposed? Is that gun in your pocket? Are you happy to see me? And on that note, I think we'll say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And we will see you in the next podcast. Bye-bye.